Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're going to do more of a sit-down style video, and I'm going to talk to y'all and teach y'all how to calculate your macros by hand using paper and pen. I'm not a health professional, I'm not a doctor, I'm just a kinesiology major / nutrition minor who has had to track my macros for a class before, and I know how to do it, and I know a lot of people are interested in knowing how to do it, so thought I'd share some information with y'all. Let's get started. First things first, what are macros? Macros are your proteins, fats, and carbs and calories. Basically, let me fix this. Basically, if you look at a nutrition label, it has protein, fats, carbs, sodium, sugar, and some other stuff on it. The main ones you need to look at are your proteins, fats, and carbs. This is all messed up. Okay, so we are going to take a 145-pound girl, 145-pound girl, and we're going to make macros for her. So first things first, whenever you are looking for macros, you need to figure out the maintenance calories. The maintenance calories are about how many calories they burn per day doing day-to-day life. So you would take her body weight, 145, and you would times that by, let me look at my notes that I made, 11 to 14. That's for a female. For a male, it's 14 to 16. This is just like a base range that some guy made some formula that came up with these numbers, and most people have their maintenance calories that fit within this. So basically, you just take the body weight, come on phone, you take her body weight 145 and times that by 11, and you get 1595. And then you take 145 and times it by 14 and you get 2030. So all I did was take body weight and times it by 11, body weight times it by 14, and I got a calorie range. Her maintenance calories are somewhere between those numbers, so I'm just gonna pick a number somewhere between that. I'm gonna do 1852. 1852. We're gonna say 1852 is her maintenance level. So we're gonna say she is trying to cut back on body fat, and we're gonna put her at a deficit. If you are bulking, you would want to put her at a surplus of calories, but for the sake of this video, she's trying to lose body fat, and we're going to put her at a deficit of 370-ish. You can do a deficit of 500, 400. Anything below your maintenance level will have you losing body fat, but we're going to do 370. So you take 1852 and minus it by 370, and then you get 1482. So her new calories, her deficit calories, is 1482. That will have her losing body fat. So once you have her deficit or the surplus calories, depending on if you're cutting or bulking, you take that and you find a protein. To find protein, after you find the deficit calories, I'm not really good at explaining things to the camera, but I'm doing my best. So to find protein, you take 0.7 to 1.2, and you times that by body weight. So if you are a very lean individual, you would multiply your body weight times 1.2. If you're a little bit higher in body fat, you'd do closer to the 0.7 range. For the sake of this video, we're going to do her protein at 0.8. So we're going to do 145 times 0.8, and come on, 145 times 0.8 is 116. So 116 is her grams of protein per day, not per day. And next we'll find her fat, and you will take her body weight again, 145, and you'll times it by 0.3 to 0.4. For the sake of this video, we're going to do 0.35, so 145 times 0.35 equals 145 times 0.35 equals 50.8, basically, grams of fat per day. So I just took 145 times this number, 135 times that number. Well, I really just picked a number between. So I did 145 times 0.35 and got 50.8 for her fats. Whenever you're doing your fats and carbs, you can kind of pick which one you like more, and you could put your fats on the lower end and then get to eat more carbs, or you could put your fats on the higher end and you'd get a little bit of less carbs. It really just depends on your food preferences here. Okay, so next we're gonna find carbs. How many carbs does she get? In order to find carbs, you need to know that protein, for every gram of protein, it's 4 calories. For every gram of fat, it's 9 calories, right? And for every carb, it's 4 calories. So what you do is you take 116, which was the protein for her, 116, and times that by 4, and you get 464 calories. So she gets 464 calories from protein every day. And then you take 50.8 and you times that by 9, and you get 457.2, 457.2. So you do 457.2 and you add 464, and then you get 921.2. So here, all I did was I took her protein calories, which was 116 times 4, and then her fat calories, which is 50.8 times 9, and then I added those 2 calorie numbers together and got 921.2, which is her total amount of calories that she's getting from proteins and from fats. So then you take the first number, the deficit number, remember, the 1482? You take that 1482 that we had in the beginning, and you minus 921.2. You minus, so 1482 minus 921.2. And then you get, that's wrong, that can't be right. 1482 minus 921.2. And you get 560. 560.8. 560.8 is how many calories that she is allowed to have of carbohydrates. So you take that 560.8, and then you divide that by 4, which is how many calories of carbs, how many calories carbs are per gram. So you get 140.2. So this 145-pound girl's macros are protein 116 grams, fat 50.8 grams, and carbs 140.2 grams, and cals 1482. These are her macros. It's super sloppy. Sorry, I write like a boy. Anyways, we'll do a quick summary. To get maintenance calories, you do body weight times 11 and then body weight times 14. Pick a number between those two numbers, basically. If you're cutting, you want to subtract a number from that. You can do 200, 400, whatever, 370. That's what I did. You do a deficit if you're cutting, and you do a surplus if you're bulking. To find protein, you take body weight and times it by 0.7 to 1.2. If you're like a leaner individual, you'd be in the more body weight times 1 or body weight times 1.2. If you're higher in body fat, you're more towards the 0.8 and 0.7 range. For fats, you do body weight times 0.3 or 0.4, and you pick somewhere between that depending on your food preferences. To find carbohydrates, you take the total calories from the protein and the total calories from the fats, and you add those two numbers together and then subtract from the number of calories you're giving yourself per day. I hope this video helped y'all out. Apps to track your macros, you can use MyFitnessPal or any other app. You can just probably look up macro trackers and you're able to track your macros using those apps. You should also play around with websites like Katie Hearn's and It Fits Your Macros, and see what numbers those macro calculators get you. They're not always accurate, but if you calculate yours by hand and then look at what the calculators give you, you can kind of pick and choose your numbers. I don't know. Macros are kind of something you have to play around with. Like, you can't just get it right the first time always. It's kind of, you gotta see what works best. Anywho, hope y'all enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Subscribe to my channel and stay tuned for the next video. Bye.